Good evening and welcome to Coffee Talk. This is my 248th Coffee Talk live stream. Welcome KP Heathen. Hope you're having a good Father's Day. Holly Ivans, hello. And Uncle Al, Bullfrog 79, welcome. Trina's This and That, welcome. Happy Father's Day to you all the fathers out there, or grandfathers. Yes, we had Bush's chicken. I had the chicken strips. And this is a tea. Supper. Oh. 5 in the house. 6 in the house, 3 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. Well, my guy came over this morning and he finished up all the wood, ripped out the last of the wood around the garage doors. He did one yesterday and he did the other one today, and then he replaced it with new pressure treated and caulked it. Came out really nice. I need to actually do a little bit more caulking to it, some places, and then I need to put a couple of coats of primer on it, and then I need to put a couple of coats of paint on it, and be done hopefully for the rest of my life. Joshua Humphrey. Joshua, I have been told that you are a troll. No offense if you are not. But I've noticed you come into my live streams and you basically put on gibberish. And I know you're not Yoda. So if you enjoy my content, well, I'm happy to have you here. And if you are a troll, basically just spouting gibberish, your days coming onto my channel may be strictly limited. You need to think about that, sir. Bill Waters. You know I'm one of your 5 subscribers. Bill is not a content creator. I'm going to link his channel. Everybody has content moderator rights. Oh, I'm happy to have your support, Bill. My father's name was William. Idaho Garden Girl. Oh, thank God for tea. Well, I was named after my grandfather, or series of grandfathers. There's a long line of Davids in my family on my mother's side. My father's name was William. His father's name was Joseph. Joe. Mom of 4 boys, welcome. My Linda Elliott, welcome, young lady. I enjoyed a couple of your videos this afternoon. I like that adult coloring. That was very, very beautiful. The one you have framed, very beautiful. I also enjoyed the one you did on the 1993 set of cards. And as I mentioned, Dave in Georgia, who used to go by Wahoo Guru and Wahoo the Turtle. And then he's shifted over to Yoda. Yoda of cards. So he really is the card whisperer. If you have questions about cards, Dave is the guy you need to go to. So yesterday we spent most of the live stream talking about number 10 cans of freeze-dried food. Uncle Al did a video today that I watched on freeze-dried food, and I watched a couple of his videos today. I'm behind on everybody, but I did watch a couple of his videos. I enjoy his video. I enjoy so many, so many of you that are here right now. I enjoy your stuff. Just having the time to actually view it. I did run a playlist last night, and I ran some live streams, and I just got through leaving comments and likes for those live streams that I ran. I'm behind. Wheat and Shaw, oink, my friend. Another excellent channel if you really have a sense of humor and you like funny stuff. You need to go to Wheat and Shaw. Everybody has the everybody has user rights, but I will copy the link and I will share it out. This is my friend Wheaton Shaw. And I did put a link for Bill, who is not a content creator, but I did put a link for Bill Waters. So yesterday we talked about number 10 cans, and Uncle Al had suggested, he talked about 10 different number 10 cans to collect. So today, the suggested topic is first aid. Now, talking a little bit about first aid, and not talking about first aid kits. You know, everybody needs to have a good first aid kit, a comprehensive first aid kit. But not talking about a first aid kit, but talking about skills and training. So the idea when people think about, you know, first aid, they think CPR. Somebody's having a heart attack, or somebody has a stroke or something, and they stop breathing. Somebody fell in the pool, they got too much water, they didn't breathe, you know, went into the water, and you got to do CPR on them. Those kind of scenarios. Training to learn CPR, you can oftentimes get free training for first aid through your community college, through the local fire department, through the county hospital. There are different, you know, you can ask around. You can contact them and ask, where's the best place to go for training. Hello, Bud Files. Please leave a like to support the channel. So, you can oftentimes contact City Hall, your county court, I've taken CPR through the last one I did was the community college, Victoria Community College. I took it. It was a half day class. I got credit from my school district for it. ESO Bar, welcome ESO Bar. I got credit training credit from my school district for it. Didn't cost me anything. I had to go over to the community college annex building, and they had somebody from that teaches that class, that is a responder. Somebody who's certified to teach the class is a responder. Now I've taken it through the county hospital before. When I was working out of town in Yorktown, and I went to go I took it through the county hospital, and they had a nurse that was certified to offer, that I learned and I took the first aid class from. And normally when you take the first aid, they teach you CPR, they teach you the basics on an AED, which is the little machine that you can use to shock somebody. You definitely need to know how to do it if you're going to do it. Like where they got the little paddle thing, and it comes with instructions, but it's a good idea that, every so often, you review it. That's what they do in these classes, is they review CPR, they review the Heimlich maneuver. Somebody's choking, how to do the Heimlich maneuver. They review the AED, and then if they have time, Little Lone Prepper, hello Little Lone Prepper. If they have time, they start going into other first aid. They will talk about what do you do. Somebody may have broken a bone. What do you do for somebody who's broken a bone? Well, if you've had the training and if you know what you're doing, and and there's you can't get an ambulance, but you got to try to transport them. You can, if you know what you're doing, you can use splints for an arm. Immobilized arm. You can use splints. A leg. Uh, if it's a serious one where the bone's sticking out, ugh, God, I've never had to deal with that. But it's a good idea that you have. Thank God I've never had to deal with that. I have done CPR in a life and death situation twice, saved the person's life. I've done the Heineken maneuver once. I was at a cafeteria, Libby's cafeteria, and a lady was choking, and I did the Heineken maneuver on her. And I tell the story about there was a table of DPS troopers right 15 feet away, and they didn't do a damn thing. But then when they saw what I was doing, one of them said, "You're not doing it right." Listen, I got it done. I was scared shitless, but I was trying to help the lady, and I did help her, and I did save her, you know. But and I did not like doing CPR, but I did it. Now, one of the things I will tell you, after having done it, I had such an adrenaline rush, I had the shakes afterwards. Gave me the shakes. But I took care of business. I'll also tell you that the two occasions that I did the CPR, I was in my early 30s. And I was probably about 40 when I did the Heimlich maneuver. I have not, in the last 20 plus years, I've not had to do that. I've been blessed that I have not been in a situation where I had to do it. Mr. Whistle, hello, Mr. Whistle. But just to show you, where are we? Good Lord. All right, here it is. I'll show you a couple of cards. This one is way expired. This one is way expired. As a matter of fact, the last year before I retired, I took this one. 10/3 of 2017. That was the last year before I retired. And then this is my current one. And this one's Victoria College. And I hate those little runners. This one I did on 2/9 of 24. It's good until 2/9 of 26. It's good for 2 years. And I did it through Victoria College. First aid, CPR, AED course. First aid, CPR, AED course. Excuse the sneeze. Somebody will ask, well, am I sick? I got the semi sniffles. Whoops. Oh, and this is a restraint training card that I got. CPI blue card. How to restrain a kid who's acting out without hurting them. CPI blue card. But normally you take a course like that, they give you a card. Sometimes they do it on the spot, sometimes they mail it to you. Uh, Joseph Moore, welcome, Joseph. I'm not paying attention to who's come in. Um, Julianne, Juliana, Juliana. Welcome, Martin. VLOG, Julianne Martinvog. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. Anybody else I missed when I was talking? Oftentimes do that. I'm talking, I'm not paying attention. So, again, the time to learn to do something is not in an emergency. You don't want to pull out your first aid book. What do I do? What do I do? You don't have 15 minutes to look through your book if somebody stopped breathing. You need to administer and start CPR as soon as possible, and you need to keep it going until they can breathe on their own or until EMS shows up, somebody. Now, when there's more than one of you present, you can switch off. It would be hell trying to do CPR by yourself for 10 or 15 minutes until emergency services can show up. I mean, if you're all if you're all that's there, and it's either, you know, you do the CPR or they die, you do the best you can. And I hope I never have to do it again, but I mean, I have had the training. And the other thing is, you know, responders are usually younger folks. When you start getting towards my age, you're not operating as a responder. You know, you're not really. Now, yeah, in some of your volunteer departments, you know, and such, where, you know, they do it as a pastime, you know, or they do it as a volunteer service. Yes, there are people older than me doing it, you know, and you know, working, you know, small counties or small cities or towns, and they got a fire department and they've got an ambulance, and, you know, and then I mean, yes, you know, and they've got a profession, and this is like the sideline that they do certain days a week, like Friday nights when there's a football game, and they've got to have an ambulance there, and it's a small town, and you got the volunteers, you know, fire department, you know, they're providing the services. So take a course. They're free, usually half a day. Learn the basics of CPR. Learn the basics of the Heimlich maneuver. Learn about an AED. Learn basic first aid. When you think about basic first aid, somebody falls and breaks something. Well, you immobilize them. You immobilize it. If you know what you're doing, if you've had training, if you have the supplies, you can apply a splint, or you can basically put them in a sling. If their arm, put it in a sling. If they're bleeding, let's say, you know, you got somebody who's got severe bleeding. Okay, the use of a pressure bandage, trying to stop the bleeding. There's stuff called bleed stop that you can, you know, sprinkle on it to try to promote clotting. Basically trying to staunch the bleeding. You don't want them to bleed out. So having like what they call an Israeli pressure bandage. It's basically a big wad of material that you can basically put over and put pressure on, and to try to staunch or stop the bleeding, to prevent them from bleeding out. And they talk about EpiPens. It's another thing that they talk about. There are people who are allergic. They're allergic to stuff. They carry an EpiPen. How to use an EpiPen. Basically, you got an EpiPen. You're going to go for the thigh, and when you jab that pin in them, you're going to basically do a 10 count before you remove it. And the EpiPen, the serum that's in it, will do its thing to counteract, their situation. I'm trying to think. So usually CPR, the AED, the Heimlich maneuver, the EpiPen, they cover all those. And if they have time, they start talking about basically how to immobilize somebody who might have a broken bone, the use of a sling, the use of a splint. I've got plastic splints in my bag that I can basically unfold that you can use, and you basically use a wrap to wrap it. You use basically use two of those and wrap it. And then the idea of stopping bleeding, you basically would use like a pressure bandage. Now you get situations where somebody gets stabbed or they get shot. They will, if EMS shows up, one, they're doing everything they can to try to stop the bleeding. The other thing they do is that they'll probably start an IV and they'll give them plasma. They'll give them like liquid. They'll give them an IV. It's not blood, but it's fluid, because the idea is they want to keep the fluid up in their body. They don't want them to bleed out, and the blood transports oxygen to the body. Ambulances normally, unless they've started recently, not to my knowledge, ambulances do not normally carry blood. They'll have, like, if they're transporting somebody, they'll have them prepped up so when they get to the hospital, they can basically just insert a tube to start the blood flow. If that's, the issue is that they've got blood loss. They do not want them to bleed out. And I'm not qualified to train anybody on anything. I'm basically just, this is me talking. Julianne's channel, woo, this big channel, lady. 17.1K, I'm going to share her out. That's Julianne's channel. My friend Isobar, let me share her out. Everybody in here's got a blue wrench, so you can, if you're not connected, you can go and connect. Isobar has got 3.44K. She's got a good channel. I oftentimes go visit her on her live streams. That's Isobar's channel. So I ordered today. I've got this small, and this is a tiny survival guide, and it's got a section on it on first aid. But I ordered a tiny first aid guide. These go for just under $12. and I ordered one that's on first aid. I should get it in the next couple of days. And it's good to have. These are good to have. They've got a lot of good information you can look up on stuff. And they're very small, so they're easy to take with you. Yes, please leave a like to support the channel. Also, please watch the replay and leave a nice comment. I would appreciate that. It'll help me with the algorithm. Right now, I'm sitting at 1,590 subscribers, 11 likes, 8 in the house. So I've got 1,590 subscribers, and I need 10 to hit 1,600. Once I hit 1,600, I will be going back and I'll be checking my last 5 videos to see who has left me a nice comment. Hopefully you leave me a nice like. Likes do not cost you anything to leave a like. First thing you should do when you go into somebody's video is leave them a like to help them out. I have 14.6K views for the last 28-day cycle. Watch time of 536 hours. My last live stream had 119 views. My last short, which was this morning, 437 views. I just dropped another one about 2 hours ago. It's starting, the views are starting to come in on it. My last video, which was the giveaway for Hillbilly Josh, 58 views. We are in hurricane season. We are in hurricane season. Hurricane season started June the 1st. It'll run through November the 1st. I was looking at the news. It was saying that there are 2 storms developing out there. We may be starting to have our first action of the hurricane season out in the Atlantic, which will move in towards the Caribbean. And so we are starting to have some action. They were predicting between 17 and 25 storms this year. And they say there'll be a few more this year than last year. Last year there were 14. Tornadoes have been a problem. We average about 1,500 tornadoes a year in the United States. And we had 146 in May. As a matter of fact, we were looking at $4.7 billion worth of damages, and 20 odd people perished due to tornadoes this last month. Very bad month for tornadoes. Devil Dog Prepper, welcome. Happy Father's Day, Devil Dog. So I have been talking about first aid, and I've been talking about first aid training, what you get when you go through training. Everybody normally thinks first aid, they think of CPR, they think about the Heimlich maneuver. Also, learning to use an AED, which where you basically, if you got access to the machine, you can shock somebody's heart, an electrical shock. How to use an EpiPen. If they have time, they will talk to you about what to do if somebody might have a broken bone, how to immobilize, put them in a sling, or use depending on the circumstances, it may be advisable to use a splint, how to do that. They'll also talk about if you have blood loss, how to stop blood loss, use of a pressure bandage, use of like bleed stop, put it on to like help it clot. what to do in those type of situations. Again, it's a free class. To get your card, you sit through the class. Normally, you go through a county hospital. They'll have a nurse or somebody who's certified to teach it, or they'll have somebody who EMS worker. The community college here in Victoria, I took it this spring at the community college, and it's good for 2 years. And they had a EMS worker who taught it. Uncle Al this afternoon, we discussed some of the things that I'm going to do on my live stream. He's a very good, he gives very good counsel. It's like a mentor to me. And very, very, very good channel. If you're not subscribed to Die Bullfrog 79, you need to subscribe to Die Bullfrog 79. He provides wonderful information. If you're interested in gardening, if you're interested in food prep, you're interested in just about anything survival related, he's your guy. That is a link to his channel, and I encourage you to go over and connect if you're not connected. So I want to go over a little bit about your emergency situation. FEMA puts out information on what you should have in an emergency kit. You need to have water and food for at least a week. And that would be water and food for each person who's going to be with you. So, you know, when it comes to preparedness, and when it comes to like having water, having food, having items that you need to get by, you need to calculate based on how many people are with you. How many people are going to be with you during the crisis, or how many people are staying with you, how many people in your family are you responsible for, and you need to calculate your preparedness based on that. Medication. You need, if you take medication, if somebody's with you takes medication, you need to make sure that there's a supply of it on hand. There's an emergency, they better have that medication. Some of them, they won't live long if they don't have it. And then you'll get to practice your CPR. You'll get to practice your serious first aid. Yeah, 2,000 calories a day. For a woman, you're looking at maybe 1,400. You look at a woman, or you look at a child, but the idea of the average, full-grown man's about 2,000 calories a day, and you could calculate 2,000 calories a day for each person. You need to calculate eight glasses of water. That's the equivalent of 4 of those half-liter bottles for each person to stay hydrated. You should have 4 of those a day. So if you've got a 24-pack of water, and there are 6 of you, that's a 1-day supply. If you're by yourself, that's a 6-day supply. And that's just water for consumption. That's not counting anything for hygiene, for cooking, or anything else. That's just water for consumption. If you're going to be basically using a portable shower, and you know what you're doing, You got the equipment and everything set up. Anywhere from 3 to 5 gallons. You're gonna take a shower, and what are you gonna do? Once a week, twice a week. Figure 3 to 5 gallons for that. So you need a lot of water. You need access to a lot of water. Yeah, I used to buy the 40 packs. Now that I'm older, you start talking about weight. A gallon is 8 pounds. So when you start talking about a 40 pack of water, you're looking at maybe 45 pounds. If you're older, that's a lot of weight to be moving around, So I buy the 24 packs. Mike, crush your reviews, my friend. If you are interested in military rations, civilian rations, freeze-dried foods, and you want reviews on that stuff, you need to look into Mike Crusher Reviews. Mike has 462 subscribers. Mike, I just subscribed you on my backup channel, so now you've got 2 subscriptions for me. Looking at your stuff, you have not done a review in a month, my friend. I don't think you've done any. One of the things I have to think about is when I am subscribed to somebody and I subscribe them to my backup channel, I haven't given them any views on my backup channel, so I can go back and I can review everything, and when I do that, they get those minutes. You get that watch time. Here's another one, Distracted Me Imagery. Let's go to this channel. Distracted Me Imagery has 371 subscribers. 372, I just subscribed. And I will put a link up. Hi, Chihuahuas. That is a link. Here's another one that just came in. Welcome. MIMIS, Mimi's Place. Mimi's Place. 1.21k subscribers. I am subscribed on 2 channels, my main and my backup. Let me put a link out for that one. I need to give full user rights to my backup channel so I can actually give standard moderator. I can give standard moderator from my backup channel. I cannot give standard moderator. I can link because I'm using my backup channel to look at my stream of comments, and then my iPhone is basically recording. So I need to do that so I can basically give user rights. But I put a link to Mimi's Place, and I put a link to Distracted Me Imagery, so that you can both, and actually any of you can basically go in and, because you've got standard moderators, so you can actually go to their channel. Good Lord. What I do sometimes. And we are 47 minutes into the stream. There are 13 in the house, 14 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. If you have not done so, it will be greatly appreciated. So back to some of my bread and butter that I keep. I've got like little lists of stuff that I go through, that I talk about and I go through. So going through some of my bread and butter stuff. A Life Straw or a Sawyer. A Life Straw or a Sawyer. You need filtration. You need filtration. You need to be able to filter water. Boiling, using tablets. You gotta filter the water. You don't use pool water. You don't use brown or green water. You want something other where you gotta flow, and you gotta have a means to. And it might be a good idea. You know, if you got a new source, test it. You know, test your water, see what's in it. Bad water can kill you. Get dysentery. Would not be a pleasant way to go. So they're not cheap. A Life Straw, 22-ounce Life Straw, filtered Life Straw, $41.93. Now you might save some money like Walmart, but I'm using and it looks like I'm freezing up. I'm using Amazon. I'm talking about Amazon. And you know, it is what it is, but you got to have it. Life Gear is a brand that Walmart carries and you can order from. You need a good crank radio, something that you can get NOAA. You can get the Weather Channel, the weather alerts, good AM FM. This one has a hand crank. You can charge USB from it. It's got an on-off. It's got a flashlight, so it's a dual function. $18 plus tax at Walmart, or you can order it. Likewise, yeah, don't drink dehumidifier water. You really, like rainwater, you have a catchment system, still need to filter that. When you start talking about filtering, you have a filter, or you have like a funnel. Coffee filter. And run the water through it, and that way it'll get any large chunks of anything that might be in it. And then you still have to filter it. You still have to clean it. Here's another one. This is Life Gear. This is a it's got an 18650 battery in it. It's a little power bank, but it's also a flashlight. You can USB charge it, and you can use it to USB charge a phone. $18 Walmart. And if your Walmart doesn't have it, you can order it online. So Uncle Al basically has talked about the need for a 2-year supply of food. Well, let me tell you, if the grid is that far down and you take medications and such, in addition to his 2-year supply of food and a good water source, you better have a big supply of the medication if you take medication to keep you going. You need to think about that one. You might want to acquire some antibiotics. So, Uncle Al was talking about 10 cans, 10 number 10 cans and different types of number 10 cans. And he'd ask me, well, if you can only have 10 cans, what would you have 10 cans of? I said, milk, powdered milk. If I was only going to have number 10 cans, I'd have 10 cans of the powdered milk. Because a glass of milk a day, 8 ounces of milk, a glass, whether you're just drinking it or whether you're putting it on a cereal or you're putting on oatmeal, or you use it with something other, a glass of milk, and you're not going to be lactose intolerant because it's whey milk. It's an alternative milk. It's not animal based. It's plant based. So yes, I have quite a bit of that. I also have several cans of the chocolate. I've got several cans of what's called Orange Delight, which is an orange drink. I've got freeze-dried lemonade. I've got freeze-dried coffee. I've got tea. If something were to happen, I've got solar panels on my patio roof. They're wired into my kitchen, in through my attic into my kitchen. I could actually charge 2 different devices at once. I could be charging a battery bank and I could be charging a power station. Or I could combine them to just be charging one main item at a time. And I would keep a compressor-driven 12-volt refrigerator freezer going, and I would just have it on refrigerator. If it was a dual zone, it would all be basically just doing refrigeration at about 38 degrees. And I would keep my milk and my water, sodas, or whatever beverages I have, cheese or a butter powder, you make cheese, butter, eggs. I would have that stuff cool. And as long as I've got, and the idea is you have more than one. So I have a couple of the 12-volt refrigerators, the mobile ones. And we use them periodically for camping and such. I would use one at a time. If I had like 3 of them, which I'm planning on buying another one, those are backups. You use the one if that one wears out on you a couple of years down the road, then you go to the next one. You're probably not going to be able to get parts. So the idea is that if something goes out, you've got backup. 1 is none, 2 is 1. Right now, if you go and you buy lithium batteries, I've got Deep Cycle. I'm getting ready to buy some lithium. You go buy a 100 amp hour 12 volt lithium battery, LiFePO. It's got a life of 10 years. After 10 years, if you've used it properly, You know, would have it out of the elements. After about 10 years, it's down to it would be about 80% power. A 100 amp hour battery is 1300 watts. What that means is you can run 1300 watts continuously for 1 hour. Now, I would be using it basically with 12 volt appliances. A 12 volt appliance usually uses less than 100 watts. So like if I'm running a Bouge RV 12 volt refrigerator, little mobile, refrigerator, when the thing's running, it's using less than 50 watts. And they cycle on and off. So you'd have no problem, like with my power station, I have no problem keeping the thing going. You can charge the batteries during the day with solar. Yeah, there are times of the year when you're not going to get that much solar out of it. But for the amount you're going to be using and for the amount of power that you have where I'm at, it's not going to freeze over on me. It's not going to be snowed over on me where you can't get any power through it. Less power during the winter, but I would still be getting power to charge my... And that's primarily what I would be using it for, is for to charge my little lanterns. If the grid is down, the cell towers are down, charging your phone's not going to do you any good. You need a real good radio so that you can pick up channels if somebody's broadcasting. Living in the house. $16 likes. Please leave a like to support my channel. I'd appreciate it. Look at my shorts. I appreciate if you would. Look at my last 5 videos and leave a supportive comment. You want to be in the drawing when I hit 1600, and I'm getting very close. Could happen anytime. But, just common sense preps. You're not able to use an electric can opener, you better have a manual. And you need more than one. Why? If it breaks. If it breaks, what are you going to do? Well, as an example, this one I got over at Walmart, my Walmart, near where I live. Now, Cheryl up near Dallas, $9 for this thing. I paid $2. They had them for $2. I bought 5 of them. Why did I buy 5 of them? Well, hell, it's almost like the equivalent of buying one for regular price. Yeah, that would be good to have. A dual fueled, I would say, from what I've heard, if you can primarily use it on propane, it'll be a lot easier, and the engine will live a lot longer. But you gotta have the propane. Same thing with gasoline. Gasoline, you gotta stabilize it. Gotta rotate that gas and stabilize it. Otherwise, the gas, gets bad. Life with Misty. Hello, Misty. Let me go to Misty's channel. Misty and I are about the same size. Life with Misty. Misty's got 1,500 videos. She's got 1.59K. I just subscribed her on my backup channel. Let me share her out. That is a link to Misty's channel. Right now, I'm using my backup channel. I'm watching on my backup channel on my iPad, and I'm projecting on my iPhone for my live stream. I need to give myself the enhanced user rights on my backup channel, so I can actually give standard moderator. I can't give standard moderator. Standard moderator cannot give standard moderator, but you can have the enhanced, and you can use that to give standard moderator. Which I need to do. Well, it is a Sunday evening. Every day I wake up, I thank God for the day, and I say the Lord's Prayer in the morning. I think a lot. Drink my coffee. I believe life is good, but it is what it is. Things happen. That's the reason why you got to be prepared. Preparedness is very important. I will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m., the Lord willing, for another edition of Coffee Talk. Appreciate you guys being in. If you got any suggestions, please send me an email or text message me. If you already have my number, if you got topic suggestions, please do so. And I will join you tomorrow for another edition of Coffee Talk. Thank you. God bless. Good night.